Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, is there trouble in a galaxy far, far away? Gina Carano has come under fire for one hell of an Instagram post, and we're going to be breaking all of that down right now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here, 3 Buck Theater. I know, back with another live stream. Today, another big drama dropped on movie Twitter and movie YouTube, which we're talking about. Of course, now is the time to ask the question: is it time for Disney to fire Gina Carano? Because right now, it's like the number one trending topic in entertainment, and I know a lot of people out there are going to be going like, "No, Matt, no, it is not time to fire Gina Carano. She has done nothing wrong. She simply has an opinion." Do we fire people for opinions? Well, I mean, yeah, they do. But the question doesn't become whether or not she's got a bad opinion, which I'm going to just come out and say right away. Yeah, she's got several terrible opinions. That doesn't mean I think she's a bad person. It just means I think that she's got really shitty opinions, because she does. They absolutely, that's proven at this point. But she is now kind of gone beyond the pale a little bit, I believe, with this particular Instagram post that's getting a lot of people fired up, so to speak. And they've been asking the question, is it, they've been actually not demanding that Gina Carano get fired. So I wanted to kind of break it down a little bit here, because the question becomes not should she be fired for what she has said or what she believes, because I don't believe that's the case. Just want to make that clear right off the bat. What we're talking about now is a fundamental liability to not only Star Wars as a brand, The Mandalorian as a brand, Lucasfilm and Disney as companies. That is the thing we have to look at here. That is what's going on. So let's just take a quick look here at where this whole thing started. So there was a post that popped up this morning from a guy by the name of Djarin Culture. Janet is their name. And they said, did she just compare the Holocaust to being a Republican? Hashtag fire Gina Carano. And she's got this Instagram post here, which we are going to look at. But as we can see, she's gotten, at this point, 1,126 retweets, 290 quote tweets, and nearly 5,000 likes. This is what prompted the fire Gina Carano hashtag to fire up again. And then Variety is now writing about it, which is the article I wanted to look at here. Jordan Morau wrote the article, Mandalorian star Gina Carano under fire for controversial social media posts. To be fair, her publicist has got to be absolutely like hating her right now, because this kind of headline is something at this point now for the last 6 months. When you hear about Gina Carano, it is because of a headline like this. That's what you're hearing. It's not like good things that she's done. It's literally just like, she says stupid shit on the internet. Her publicist, her manager, her hairstylist, who knows, her spiritual healer, whatever she's into, her political advisor, I don't know, should more or less just be like, shut up, just shut up for a little bit. But that may not be the case. I'm not too sure if that's going to happen and all. We may not get to that point. It may not happen. Anyway, according to Variety here, it says Gina Carano, who plays Cara Dune in both seasons of Disney Plus's The Mandalorian, garnered backlash on social media Wednesday after sharing several controversial posts on her Instagram story. Carano shared the post on her story late Tuesday night. One of the posts she shared compared today's divided political climate to Nazi Germany. Look, man, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't invoke the Jews. All right. Like, when you work in entertainment, do not ever, ever, ever do that. That is never at all say, but like I know a thing or two about persecution, like the Jews. You never say that. Like, that is if you want to get canceled, if you want to get fired in this industry, that is how you do it. And I've said this before on Twitter, like last week, I said, hot take, I think Gina Carano wants to get fired from The Mandalorian. I really do. And at this point, when you start comparing your political opinion to that of the Jews in the Holocaust, not a good idea. Even though I understand, I do get what they're saying here with this particular post. I get it. I'm not an idiot. I get the sentiment that they're trying to make. At the same time, optics are a motherfucker, dude. Anyway, it says Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. because history is edited. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where the Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them for simply being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? No, what? No. What are you doing? Like, what the fuck, man? Like I said, I get the sentiment it's trying to make. I do. I get the sentiment it's trying to make. But that is like the most dog shit statement you could fucking make. What is this? Anyway, and then another photo of her was like with a guy, having masks all over his face. And these are the two images here, And it's, I understand, like, because the thing is, look, Gina is a Republican, I'm assuming, based upon her posts. She believes in election fraud, which has been disproven. In fact, we're impeaching the last president right now in Congress because he spurred an insurrection in the nation's capital that resulted in 5 deaths, or 7 deaths now, ultimately. As a result of everything, with Capitol officers, one dude losing an eye, one dude losing 3 fingers, one protester beating a cop with an American flagpole with the American flag attached to it. Like, this is the kind of people that she is currently supporting. And right now may not be the best time if you value your career to do this kind of thing. This is being real. I'm not saying she should or shouldn't do it. I'm telling you, like, where we are politically, you will get fucking canceled. If this post here, this was it Warrior Priest Gym podcast thing that she's sharing, is just a wow sort of thing. Anyway, the article goes on to say here, both posts were removed from Carano's Instagram story Wednesday afternoon. Other posts, including a quote saying, expecting everyone you encounter to agree with every belief every belief or view you hold is fucking wild. And one saying Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Look, I don't think that's not really a controversial hot take. You want to hear a controversial hot take? Jeffrey Epstein's alive. I actually do believe that, by the way. I have my own theories to back that up. I'm not going to die in that hill, but if it came out that he's alive, I'd be like, yeah, I've been calling it for like 2 years now. Anyway, many people on Twitter began using the hashtag #FireGinaCarano, tagging accounts for Disney, Disney Plus, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, and requesting that Carano be dropped from The Mandalorian. Carano has courted social media controversy before. Again, like I said, right now, everything that you talk about with her is social media controversy. Previously sharing misinformation about mask wearing and voter fraud. That is true. She actually blocked me on Twitter because I properly explained what happened in Pennsylvania with the legislature there and how they counted mail-in ballots. She blocked me because she doesn't want to have factual information, and that's okay. I'm not mad at her. I don't hate Gina Carano, but she keeps digging this hole. And the thing is, and to be honest with you, she's digging this hole because there are people out there that are rallying around her, that are using her as a token in a culture war that may or may not like her, but they're going to back her because she has similar beliefs to them. It's not even about sharing the same beliefs or sharing the same overall mission. It's just backing someone who has a blue check mark, who's almost a household name, or in many cases a household name, and backing them up in order to make sure that your political narrative, your culture war takes are protected. So like in my mind, she's being used by a certain group of people 100%, that they're trying to, instead of trying to talk sense into her, like, hey, keep your, beliefs, but don't, fucking publicly put them out there. Instead they're like, no, you champion us. We'll champion you, you champion us, and we'll get your back and stand with Gina Carano. But it's like, you don't realize the irreparable damage that's happening to her fucking career. Like, you don't realize the irreparable damage that's happening. All right. Like, I get she's a bit of a shit poster from time to time, but there's a different world that like the average normie lives in. And someone like her, especially when you're employed by like the biggest fucking entertainment media company in the world, who, I don't know, has a lot of Jewish people that work within that entertainment sphere. Never mind LA in general. All right. Anyway, in November, in November 2020, she made light of people, including their preferred pronouns on social media, by adding beep, bop, boop to her Twitter bio. Arguably, I found that to be pretty funny, which many fans called that as transphobic. I don't believe that, but, hey. Gina Carano later removed the words after she said she spoke to Pedro Pascal. And Pascal's in the news right now for supporting his sister, who came out as transgender. This is the thing. Like, if anyone's going to like reform Gina's image, it's probably going to be Pedro. And I think like they're friends. And I think like, you know, like, I think she should probably spend more time talking to him than certain wannabe Star Wars fans. Anyway, she later she says, he helped me understand why people were putting them in their bios. I didn't know before, but I do now. I won't be putting them in my bio, but good for all of you who choose to. I stand against bullying, especially the most vulnerable, and support freedom to choose, which is fine. But it's like she keeps stepping in it a little bit, right? And it's like people have been polling from her posts here. Instagram, again, she's an anti-masker. So stupid of a thing to do. Wear your mask. Get a cool one like my Ninja Turtle one here. Wear a freaking mask. And then she talks about like, oh, if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes journalism. I mean, come the hell on. And then she liked these tweets here from this guy called the Bradford File, saying America does not have a systemic racism problem. It has a violent leftist extremist problem. No. There's violent leftist extremism. Don't get me wrong. It's still outweighed heavily, and this is proven by the FBI, that right-wing terrorism, right-wing extremism is still the number one threat to our country, as evidenced by, I don't know, what they're impeaching the last president for right now. And she's liking that, and says you're more likely to be assaulted for being a Trump supporter than your race in America today. Let me just kind of break this shit the fuck down real quick. Not a lot of people have been assaulted for being a Trump supporter. All right. A lot of people have made up being assaulted for being a Trump supporter, just like there's been people who have been who have made up assaults from Trump supporters. Okay. We don't see a lot of that stuff because it barely fucking exists. Just like when it comes to the whole voter fraud thing. Yeah. Was there voter fraud? A few instances, sure, where people voted for Trump illegally. Not widespread voter fraud, not widespread voter issues, stuff that's been certified, it's been investigated, and the lack of evidence and even like plausible narratives have stopped it from being a massive issue. So it's like all of this nonsense. She's being fed, in my opinion, she's being fed an absolute shitload of nonsense. And she just keeps repeating it because I think she's getting the positive validation from people that are using her as a token in their culture war, especially here on fucking YouTube, especially with a particular group of fucking people. But here's the thing from September, right, of last year, where she's like responding to somebody, says they're mad because I won't put pronouns in my bio to show my support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put 3 very controversial words in my bio. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less abusive representation. But what is abuse? Like what? Because people are mean to you on Twitter? Like you dug your heels into this type of kind of shitty douchebag narrative because people were mean to you on social media? You're a fucking MMA fighter. You could literally beat the crap out of all of these people. And a few of them would probably really get off on it, to be fair. But like, that's the stupidest thing in the world to go, oh, social media is mean to me. Block them and move the F on, man. Anyway, she says, I don't think trans people would like all of you trying to force a woman to put something in their bio through harassment and name calling every day for months, such as racist, transphobe, bitch, weirdo, hope you die. I hope you lose your career. You're fat. You're ugly. I don't know why they would call her fat or ugly. She's beautiful. I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's a very beautiful woman. I have nothing. Again, I am not criticizing Gina as a person. I'm saying that like in these scenarios, all of this crap is avoidable, but she is responding terribly to online criticism and it's only getting worse. And that's why this stuff keeps coming up. And again, this is a weird one here. This is an absolute fucking weird one. So Giant Freaking Robot, and we got this covered, posted articles a couple days ago saying Gina Carano gives in and apologizes for her tweets. Now, this isn't, by the way, this is not anything like that you can really, like, there's no like factual information here. They got this from Daniel fucking Rickman, Daniel RPK on Twitter, a guy who I criticize for hiding scoops behind a paywall and potentially even stealing scoops from other people and hiding them behind a paywall, which then get, I don't know, coverage on websites like these. He threatened to blackmail me. Apparently I have that effect on people. He threatened to blackmail me because I criticized him over this stuff. But yeah, he posts this and a bunch of articles run with it and a bunch of people run with it. And then it's like, okay, this to me felt like coverage PR, to be honest with you. Because for one, Disney would never admit to it. Gina would never admit to it. And the whole thing was meant to kind of like smooth it over with people. Oh, no, she apologized privately. It's all good. They're just going to go focus on Mandalorian season 3, which starts production, I want to say next month. So this is a situation that's got to be really, really sorted out super quick. But again, there's no evidence for this that's been publicly made. And Daniel's, I don't know. I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. So all things considered, if you see his name pop up, take with a grain of salt. And really, I mean, that becomes the question. Is it time to fire Gina Carano? Is Disney going to be able to ignore this as time goes on? But here's the thing. So there's this video that I found.
I see you. I want you to know I see you, and you inspire me. And I love this character so much, and I'm so glad that that came through. And I'm so glad so many of you have connected with her.
Yeah. So this is on her Instagram that I found today, and that is I believe that is a snippet from a stream she did with Drunk 3PO from the Fandom Menace. And when I talk about people that are enabling her, a lot of it is the Fandom Menace. They're fighting a culture war. They don't give a shit what happens to Gina Carano. They have her attention right now. They don't care. Gina Carano could get fired tomorrow. They would get all mad about it for a bit, and then they would just move on with their day because there's no any kind of connection to that. There's no longevity with this, right? That's what I'm talking about here. Is you've got an actor, an MMA fighter, a Star Wars fan, all this stuff that is constantly having to deal with this. But instead of doing what is, probably the best thing for her career, which at the end of the day is the only thing she should give a fuck about. It's the only thing she should give a shit about at all is her career, because all of this stuff will pass. All of this social media nonsense will pass. It always does. It doesn't last, but focus on the career. But instead, she's like, no, I'm going to share this post that's comparing Republican viewpoints to Jews in the Holocaust. What the fuck? Seriously, Gina, like what would prompt you to think this was a good thing to say? I should say this. No, not when you work in an industry that is predominantly run by people of Jewish faith. And the thing is, that's not a negative. I'm not criticizing that. I'm not saying, oh, the Jews are going to, no, none of that. All right. Like that's the whole thing though. But it is a factoid. It is a fact that this is what happens when you work in the industry. And it's like going after them is like, what are you doing? Is this a fucking dog whistle? Is this a dog whistle for racists? Is this you appealing to like your new fan base of alt-right limp dick chuckle fucks? Is that what's going on? Because that's what it feels like to the average person. I don't want to see you fired. I don't want to see you booted off the Mandalorian. I don't want you to do any of those things. I'm not even telling you to really shut the fuck up. What I'm saying is be more mindful of what you post on social media. Comparing your political beliefs to being persecuted by the fucking Nazis. The fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. Look, this is the thing, man. Like, this is the kind of shit that warrants an apology. This is what I'm talking about when I say you have got to be careful when it comes to this kind of crap, because you can have it could be an apology. Oh, gee, all she's got to do is apologize and like just get the fuck off social media. And I agree with AJ here. He says this is why so many people get in trouble because it just takes a stupid post and that's it. Yeah. I don't know if she believes this or not. I don't know if she believes this. And that's the thing. We shouldn't even be asking that question. Do you believe that you're persecuted like the Jews in the Holocaust? Right? Now, the whole concept though of that post was, the media, right, which was controlled by the Nazis, villainize the Jews until the point of where the Nazis were able to round them up and people didn't say anything. And that's clearly what's happening with America and being a Republican is you're going to, no. The Jews didn't storm the Reichstag. Okay. And like fucking try to stop a democratically done election. The fuck is wrong with you, Gina? Jesus fucking Christ. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what happened. And you cannot go back to that time and try to make that like, that is the frustrating thing here, right? I can argue with her over election law or masks and their efficacy or not. It's not hard. Fine. those are arguments to have. Those are debates worth having. But this is the kind of shit. That is ridiculous. Cadenza here says comparing fascism to political opinion is so idiotic. It really is, because the fucking fascists are the ones who stormed the fucking Capitol. Those are the fucking fascists. Jesus Christ, this isn't a fucking left versus right debate here. We've known for years that right-wing extremism is the issue. And they're the ones who stormed the fucking Capitol. They're the ones that surrounded the homes of secretaries of states in Michigan. They're the ones that were plotting to kidnap the governors of Michigan and Virginia, right? They're the ones that surrounded the Capitol building in Oregon and tried to break the fuck in. They're the ones that tried to stop the Democratic election, the vote counts. Those are the fucking fascists, Gina. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is so stupid. You know, like, my God, you're not a fucking teenager. You can't hide behind, I didn't know any better. No. You know. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Look, I agree with Bruce Lau here. Accountability over entertainment. Okay. But I'm not calling for her to be fired. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Right. I don't think most people should be canceled for what they get canceled for. All right. But I think there has to be a moment of like holding someone to account and going, hey, listen, you're kind of being a dumbass right now. Stop it. You know, that's something that should be done. I think there's nothing wrong with calling it out. But the problem though is that, yeah, and I look, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporting lefty. Okay. But I even say that the fucking leftists, man, everything is cancel this, cancel that. You don't like milk in your coffee, or you want milk and not soy, you're fired, you're canceled. You know, like that kind of rhetoric and that kind of nonsense is stupid on both sides. But you don't fucking compare your political ideology to that of the fucking Jews. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? That angers me. That angers me. Because it's a dog whistle for fascists. It's a dog whistle for racists. It's a dog whistle for alt-right. Is this who you're trying to court? Is this who your new audience is going to be? Are you going to like fucking go on like Daily Stormer once this whole thing is over and give an interview? No, I agree, Dawn, that she's a fighter and this is probably stubbornness. I get that. And I guess she's going to stand her ground. And I have nothing against that. I have nothing against that. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? You can go too far. You can go too far in these scenarios. And that is what she did. Yeah. Yeah. Toodalani, man. Straight up. Gina's making it hard for Disney and Star Wars. That's the thing. If you don't want to lose your job, don't make it fucking difficult for the company. You start making it difficult for the company, you're gone. You're gone. No recompense. No salary. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You go to jail. You're gone. You're gone. You know, and Darth Vader, he says, I stand with Gina Carano. Fine, you want it. This is cool, man. But don't you think for a second that maybe you should like stop and go, hey, maybe don't post this shit. You know, maybe don't say this kind of thing that's going to be so inflammatory. You're going to be the number one trending topic again, multiple times again. Come on, man. Yeah, Disney does have conservative fans, but conservatism doesn't equal fascism. Conservatives don't compare themselves to fucking this kind of shit. I know a lot of conservatives, man, and we disagree on a lot of things. We debate on a lot of things, but at no point in time would they ever say, well, you know, I feel like I'm being oppressed like the Jews were in the Holocaust. Because that's a stupid statement. That is an idiotic, ill-educated, dumb thing to say. Now, okay, Brandon here makes a good point. Fine. It's amazing how Americans talk about somebody else's political views and opinions like it's the end of the world. You guys are so torn that the rest of the world is laughing. Get it together. Look, you have a point to an extent. But what we're talking about here is the idiotic posting of comparing one's political opinions to the Jewish persecution and oppression that led to the Holocaust and the death of 6 million of them. Never mind the countless million others people that were thrown into the camps and, you know, all that stuff. Right. So it's like, there's that. That's the thing. E equals MC square here says conservatives shouldn't equal fascist, but it does in the 2020s. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. If you support storming the Capitol to stop an election, if you support storming, you know, state capitals, if you support kidnapping of governors to try them for treason, that's fascism. So if you believe that, then yeah, you'd be right. But the general conservative out there doesn't believe that. The general conservative out there doesn't want to be associated with that either. Why do you think that after the Capitol insurrection, support for a lot of that shit dropped off? Why do you think Biden won by 7 million votes? People voted against Trump, not for Biden, because the conservatives are tired of being lumped in with the crazies. That's what I'm talking about here. Gina can be she can be a masked truther all she wants. I don't care. None of that interests me. But when you start going down the path of comparing yourself to the Jews, that becomes a fucking problem. That becomes an issue. That becomes something worth talking about, because you're like, wait a minute here, hold on. What are you doing? So what? So Black Panthers get a free pass? Well, the Black Panthers, man. I mean, there was some shit from back in the day, but look at what they were fighting for. Versus, where what conservatives are pissed off that they might get mocked in a fucking Starbucks. I mean, we have to look at it from the perspective of where society is. All right. So Resident Justice here says, wearing a mask isn't a big deal. Respecting trans people isn't a big deal. If you've got a problem with doing those two things, you legit got issues of morality. It's not hard to be nice and respectful. You're right. But one of the factors with that also is that we're talking about ego. We're talking about stubbornness. And when you're someone who feels like they're backed into a corner, which if you go in the post I talked about from September, where she was talking about the whole beep, bop, boop thing, the pronouns in the bio, she felt backed into a corner, right? This is a prize-winning MMA fighter, an actress, and she's upset that people were backing her into a corner over an opinion, which is why she was acting the way that she was acting. So there's that. Let's see here. Conservatives would storm Disney World if Gina was taken off the show. Maybe. I don't think they'd storm Disney World. They might. I mean, Disneyland is closed, so maybe they would. I don't know. Cadenza here says, political opinions don't matter in the situations about human decency. I agree. I think, again, it's stupidity of comments. Let's see here. Mitch Garbino says she needs to reach out to the Glover company that Savannah Guthrie's husband co-founded. I'm not familiar with them, so can you explain to me what they are? Shidoko says, I wonder how the Fandom Menace will respond to this. Oh, they're coming out. They're circling the wagon. I saw Human Penis Ryan Kennel tweeting out some stuff about that. Look, the guy looks like Butthead, but human incarnate. Okay. And I say this as a human thumb, so whatever. But I saw him beating his chest like anyone gives a shit what his opinion is. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to circle the wagons. They're going to do their live streams. They're going to go, but they're so mean to Gina. Why are they so mean to Gina? Gina didn't do anything. She compared, her political opinion to being oppressed like the Jews were. Tell you what, when we start rounding up conservatives and running them into camps, she'll have a point, but that's not going to fucking happen. All right. That's never going to happen. 74 million people voted for Trump. All right. Like, we have over 330 million guns in this country, the vast majority of which are owned by conservatives. Do you really fucking think that the military is going to come in and start rounding up conservatives and taking them to FEMA camps in old, decrepit, abandoned malls or something like that? No. That is such a weird, victimized thing to say. That is such a weird thing to live your life by, because these people actually believe it. I bet you Gina probably does believe, to an extent, that eventually they're going to come for her in the dark, that they're going to put a black bag over her head and throw her in a windowless van and take her to some kind of remote location where they're going to hold her indefinitely. They're going to Guantanamo her ass. She probably believes that because of her opinion. And that is the most ridiculous, stupid thing to believe. And that is what I'm talking about here, guys. That's what I'm talking about. That these people are so radicalized in their own belief structure that it's going to become too much of a liability for companies to keep. Well, you can't cancel Rosario. That whole thing was explained. Peach Mango Pie here says, common sense, empathy, and care for fellow man is severely lacking these days. Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to be critical of Gina's comments here, but I've stated repeatedly that I don't wish her ill will. I have no ill will against her. I think she's associating with sociopathic, narcissistic, alt-right chuckle fucks who hide behind their shitty political beliefs for the pretense of the culture war that they're propping her up as a token for. Yeah, I believe that. But I don't think she's a bad person. I don't think she needs to be canceled. I don't want to see her booted off of Mandalorian season 3 or Rangers of the New Republic. I like Cara Dune. What I'm talking about here is that it's going to get to a point where Disney's not going to have a fucking say. Their hands are going to be so tied, so twisted that they're not going to have a say. They're going to have to do it. And it's going to be her own fucking fault. And then she'll come out and she'll claim, well, my free speech was impugned and it was denied. And then all of those little sycophantic fucks are going to come out and say the exact same thing. What about our free speech? She could say what she wants. There's no such thing as freedom from consequences. Especially when you're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that has ties to every single aspect of entertainment and even other forms of business all throughout this world. They care more about their image than the fifis of an actor. I'm just saying. It's like, look, I agree with Mitch here. She needs to stop. She doesn't need to cancel. Yeah, but she'll be canceled. Am I compare Pedro Pascal's comparison to Nazis and Republicans? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's fascists. I don't agree with that either, but I agree with the fascist part of it. You know, we're not talking about Pedro at the same time. And I don't really support whataboutism in this particular case. And he got roasted over that shit too, you know, but there's a difference though. There's a difference in saying that Republicans are like Nazis and going like, no, but we're the Jews. The leftists are the Nazis, but we're the Jews. There's a huge difference there. The Nazis are empirically the bad guy. The empire based upon the Nazis. And also American imperialism too. That's a whole other fucking issue. But it's like, you know, the modeling of the empire was very much inspired by the Third Reich and their clothing and the way that the very, very structural design of it was. So it's like, you know, there's that resonates with society. Here it is almost 100 years later. Yeah, resident justice, I agree with here. Whataboutism doesn't add anything to the conversation. Do I think that Pedro should call all Republicans Nazis? No, I'm not calling all Republicans Nazis. Calling Nazis are Nazis, though, that's one thing. And you can find a lot of those fuckers on social media. You can find a lot of those fuckers on Parler. That was my favorite thing about all that, too. It's like, oh, man, Gina ran over to Parler. Everyone ran over to Parler. And then Parler just gets like explodes in anti-Semitism and death threats and calls for violence and all of these things. And now they're gone and they're not coming back because that's just how society operates. They're trying to, you know, and I don't really agree that I think Parler should come back because I like reading some of the hot takes on there. Let's see here. Batman Superman says she should donate to a Holocaust charity. That might be a way out of it. Here's the thing with this one. I don't think she's going to walk away from this one. If I'm being honest with you, I just don't see it happening. I don't see her walking away from it. I don't see her being able to walk away from it. I don't think you're going to see her, you know, like she'll stay. If it's true that she apologized behind the scenes, I don't believe Daniel Rickman, but if it's true, then this is just a massive fuck up. This is a massive fuck up on her end. And this is going to be what bites her in the ass. They start shooting Mando season 3 pretty soon. If they were already in production, I'd say she's no way going to be fired. But if this shit isn't resolved or taken care of, because she deleted it, which is at that point, because she deleted it, she's aware of the controversy. So at this point, she's now being told to delete this shit. So we have to wait to see if there's going to be if there's going to be something that comes out of it. I don't know. AJ here says she definitely shot herself in the foot. I agree. Cadenza here says they might recast her character if it gets too bad. I think, yeah, they might. But again, that's just going to break the show. You know, let's see. It's one of those things. It's, like, I don't want her canceled. I don't, not at all. But this is a situation where it's like, you gotta speak some sense to her before it's too late. Someone's got to speak some sense to her before it's too late. But, on that note, guys, I'm running at 35 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. So I appreciate everyone coming on in. I think it's been an interesting conversation. I'm not, you know, I am passionate about this because I think it's a massive mistake. And I like Gina. I've always liked Gina. And I see this as a career destroying moment that doesn't need to be this way. and that she has associated herself with people that do not care about her career, but care about the clout that their association with her gives them. And that is going to end up biting her in the ass, and they're not going to give a shit. As always, if you guys would like to help support the channel, you can always do that by, leaving a like. I'm going to get hit with a lot of dislikes. If you really want to help support, and this would be awesome, check out Podio Commentary. Link will be in the video description here when the show is over. It's a new series where I break down the history of movies. I just did this one here. Cloverfield, the history of American kaiju film. A lot of fun to write and record that one. That one's up on the channel right now. And I've got the new one coming soon. I think about The Fifth Element is what's coming next week, which has already been written. And so I appreciate everybody. Have yourself a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you.